Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Paul's the Great from Contrast again. Like I said, y'all don't know who we are yet, but y'all will soon. We're making some music out there. We're just now starting out, but we're gonna do our thing. But anyways, I'm here to review the Drake album, the new Kendrick album, and the J. Cole album, because those are the top three that most people are considering the best albums, like within a year, not in this year, but within a year. Alright, this is how I feel. I'm gonna go from what I like the least to what I like the most. First, I'm gonna start with Drake's album. The songs I was feeling the most were Legend, 10 Bands, Wednesday Night. That was just the interlude, but I was still digging it. Used To, Now and Forever, Company, You and the Six, and 6 p.m. in New York. The Drake album, truthfully, I was really thinking it was a mixtape at first until people were like, nah, that's his album. I was like, for real? I wasn't really feeling it that much. I do like Drake. All of my views are not biased. I do like all of these artists. Of course, I have a favorite one. But the Drake album, I thought he could do better. At the beginning, it was pretty much the same beat. It just had the same feel. The first couple of songs were pretty much low tempo, and it just didn't have the life. But it started getting better after the Wednesday Night interlude. That's when it started getting a little more soulful, and he was actually pitting something within his lyrics, because the first couple of songs were just dead to me. Everybody has their point of view, though. And I really think his Nothing Was the Same album was a little better, because it had better production in my view, because this production, it was a little plain. The album had a lot of similar beats. Nothing Was the Same had a whole lot more feel to it. And it switched up quite a bit, which I don't like an album to be completely the same, the whole thing, because nobody wants to feel the same when they're listening to music, but it should be similar. Okay. And my next one is J. Cole's album, Forest Hill Drive. In my view, it's better than Drake's album. My songs were the January 28th, Wet Dreams, I really like that. A Tale of the City, Firing Squad, I really like the GOMD, No Role Models, Apparently, Love Yours, and Note to Self. Pretty much, I was digging the whole album. Those were the ones I liked the most. It had that old school 90s vibe, feeling of like Nas and somewhat a little bit Jay-Z. It had a great message in it, and the production was great. I was loving the production. But in my view, Born Center was a little better. I was just digging Born Center. The production on Born Center was crazy to me. I was digging that quite a bit. But it's completely different. Like, it's completely different. Born Center was a little more hype, but yet sending a message. This album was more about sending out a message, which was good. Okay. And Kendrick's album. In my eyes, out of the three, Kendrick's is the best. So far, it's the best within this year. A lot of people are going to probably say something against this, but I think it was better than Good Kid, Mad City. In my view, Section 80 was the best to me. I was digging Section 80 quite a bit. It had a good feel to it, kind of like this album. This album and Section 80 were pretty similar. It had that like jazzy feel to it, that soulful jazzy feel. But this album had a lot of funk added into it too, and a lot of soul too. Some West Coast, some 90s. It had a whole lot. It had a great message in it. It was self-rising. I liked the whole album. I can't really pick any song that I did not like from this album. it took me a little bit to grasp onto, because at first I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this, but after listening to it a couple of times, I'm digging it. And my favorite is the Wesley Theory, King Kunta, Institutionalized, You, Mama, All Right, and Mortal Man. I was digging at Mortal Man. He came with lyricism. At first I was like, he didn't really come with bars, but actually he did. Came with a great message. It's people gonna try to say this is too mainstream, but nothing mainstream about this album. It's completely contrast to what people do nowadays. So don't even try to consider this being mainstream, just because he is mainstream. But those are my views. These are not my top 3, but I'm just doing this as the top 3 because most people are seeing these as the top. In my view, Big Sean, well, Kendrick was the best. J. Cole second. I was digging Big Sean. I'm going into last year too. I was digging Big Crit and T.I.'s. Whole bunch of great albums came out and more to come. I'm still waiting for Gunplay and a couple of other albums. Rick Ross, I wasn't really feeling his too much, but anyways, check us out on SoundCloud, Halls the Great 26. The group is called Contrast. Also check us out on Reverb, Contrast. Check out our website, contrastmusic500.wix.com/contrastmusic, and be looking forward to more videos on music reviews. I'm gonna start doing some not trials. Like I'm gonna start doing videos about mixing and mastering, EQ and vocals, music theory, a whole bunch of stuff. So look out for that. If you're interested, like this and subscribe. Alright, Ghost. Check out Contrast.